Thanks everybody for joining us. On the call today, we've got myself and Ian from Epics. As we sort of said as people were joining, I wasn't expecting to be doing this session today. I was expecting to still be laid up with my shoulder, having just had an op, but actually all good. So I'm back. Ian's here to answer any questions, keep an eye on the chat, and take any feedback that you might have on anything you're going to see in the demo today. Today's session then, a brand new subcontractor portal. So we're really excited to launch this. It's a brand new product that we've been working very hard on, all with the goal to reduce admin burden on yourselves for managing the subcontractor works, make it easier for you to see what your subcontractors see, and also for help them to sort of manage their own work, but also it improves the collection of evidence from the subcontractor, ideally getting out of that whole having to do things by WhatsApp and email. Before we start, I think it's probably quite prudent to show you what you're doing at the moment. I'm sure you're all familiar with this, so there's nothing new here. But this is basically, at the moment, you can issue jobs manually using the system as you always do. So using the very familiar issue job button on the job sheet, you can assign a job to your own operatives or subcontractors by selecting from a list of people on a calendar view like you can see in front of you there. And that's based upon trades, skill sets, and region matches and proximity to jobs and that kind of thing. So that can be done for your subcontractors. There's a filter on this here which says include subbies. So you can do that, and some people do that to great effect. You can just issue that job out there, and obviously what you need to do is make sure that they get that job. We can trigger automated emails, as it says on the slide, so that if you've got a particular operative who is a subcontractor, you can use this screen, issue the job, and that subcontractor will get an email to say they've got a job. So you can do that at the moment. The other functionality we have is on the job sheet, and some of our customers do this, is there is an issue subcontractor button. That allows you to issue a subcontractor for a chosen date. So basically using the screen you can see here on the left screenshot, you select your subcontractor, choose the date you want them to go and do the work, and it will create a purchase order within the system that looks a little bit like this here. And that will then raise an actual PO that you can record deliveries against, and more importantly, you can record the subcontractor's invoice against, which will then allow you to export it to accounts to pay them. But also it will, as well, if you've got it set up with an email address for the subby, they will get an email with the job details as well as the purchase order printout that you can see there. So we've got all that going on at the moment. And so what we've done is we have created a brand new subcontractor portal that taps into the issue subcontractor button. So it's now time for me to do the demo of this, which I'm sure you've all been waiting for. So we're going to start on the dashboard of our brand new portal. So what we've got here is a web-based portal. So it's accessed through a web browser. So you can access this on any device. I've shrunk it down a bit to reflect how it would look on a mobile device. It will work fine on any phone, any tablet, or any desktop PC or laptop, anything with a web browser on it. So this is our dashboard view that the subcontractor would see. And we've presented you with a series of dashboard tiles to allow the users to quickly see at a glance what they've got going on at the moment and the current status of their tasks that they've got on their workload. So just to explain what we've got going on, we've got a needs work. That means that they've not started the work and the work hasn't been completed. So it needs some input from them. Needing evidence means that the work is completed, but they've not uploaded any evidence yet to say that they've done it. And we'll cover what we mean by evidence a bit later on. Needs an invoice. Well, that means that they've completed the work and they've uploaded their evidence, but they haven't invoiced you yet for the work. And so this is a reminder to them that they need to send you their invoice. New tasks is basically any newly issued work that they haven't clicked on yet. So once they go into the new tasks and click on something, it no longer becomes a newly issued task. It becomes part of the rest. Overdue tasks, as it sounds, it means it's past the required date. So if they've been issued a job for yesterday and they still haven't gone, that would flow into overdue tasks today. Tasks due soon is basically driven by a system option, but at the moment in our demo, it's tasks due this week. We could change that on a contractor by contractor basis if you needed it for a extended period of time, or maybe slightly less than a week. In progress means, as it sounds, the work has begun but is not yet complete. And finally, the invoices section is all the invoices that subcontractor has submitted to you in the last 12 months and the status that they are at. And finally, we've got this nice button here for filtering tasks. This allows you to filter all those things that you can see on the dashboard by any of those fields. So you could search for order references, address, postcode, the job description or task containing words, and also any date ranges that you want to pop in there as well. So you can filter and they can narrow down their searches, particularly if they've got quite a lot going on and you can't see it at a glance. To go back to a demo of how all this works, we'll start in the back office. And here in true Blue Peter fashion is a job that I created earlier. So this is a job for a roofing contractor to go and look at a suspected blocked valley and maybe clear it if they can. Job status is awaiting allocation. It's a brand new job. There's nothing on it. We use the issue subcontractor button. So this is the slide I showed just briefly before. So the issue subcontractor button, we choose our subcontractor that we want to issue the works to. And we can specify a date that we'd like them to attend here. So I'm just going to pop in today's date. Why not? So hit continue. And that will raise a purchase order for you. So you've got a subcontractor order, which you can print into the nice PDF file if you wanted to, but that's not why we're here. So this is no different to any other purchase order. You can see here that we've got the link back to the job, which is now at status issued. And we can see in our issued operatives, we've got our subcontractor here and the work status is issued. So that will appear on the operative diary against the subcontractors that have got issued works, just like any other job in the system. On our dashboard now, if I refresh this, we can see, if you were paying attention, that we had 6 now. There were 5. So we've now got an extra task to do. And that also appears in our new tasks as well. So if I click into my new tasks, we can see I've got a selection of jobs here. We can see the one I've just created. It was the suspected Block Valley attend site and clear. So I click into my job. As we can see, the current status of that job is not started. I click in my job and I can see all our useful information about the job. So we're showing you when the order was made, when we need to have attended site by, and so on. We always show the status of the job at the top here with the little icon in the top right hand side. So the first things that we're going to show you is we can record notes, record work done, and of course submit evidence to say you've done the job that you were sent to do. So if I click on record notes, if there were any additional notes that as a subcontractor you wanted to add to the job that were different to the evidence, you can do. Could be that you've tried to get in touch with the resident to arrange a time and they haven't confirmed it with you or something like that. They can add notes. That's absolutely fine. They do that by typing free type here, or they can upload attachments here. Recording work done. So as they start to do the task and they record the work done, let's assume I've attended site today and I've cleared the valley just by getting up on the ladder. So all done. There was no materials used. I just went up on the ladder and did the work I was supposed to do. When did I go? Well, you can change your date and time using the date time pickers here. And I'm just going to leave that to say I went between 8 and 9 this morning. And this can be configurable to match your requirements as well. You can have the end status of the job. So we've got some quite commonly used ones there that will probably fit most circumstances, I would have thought. But let's just go with a complete status for now. I'll save that. Notice now the status up here has changed. We are now awaiting subcontractor evidence. That is because if we scroll down, we can see that I have recorded my work, but we are yet to record any evidence on this job, and we can't move it on until we've done so. If I quickly bounce us back to our back office here, on the dashboard, we've got a brand new dashboard widget. It's this one here on the top left hand side, and this is relating to subcontractor orders. So the statuses of needs work, needs evidence, and needs invoice all marry up with the statuses that you've just seen on the subcontractor portal. We can see here that against my subby of ZFB maintenance that there is one task that needs evidence, and that one is our subcontract order for this job, which was to clear the valley. So you can see there, we're moving them on in the back office for you as well. I go back to our portal. The next step in here is to record the evidence. So if I click that button there, the evidence section, this is driven by attachment categories. Now, if you're using this in the back office, you'll know what I'm talking about. So any of the notes and attachments that you can add to a job sheet, there is a category that you can pick. And if you're using that, it's a sort of almost like a way of organizing your notes and attachments on a job sheet. This is driven by that. So in order to use the subcontractor portal, you would need to set up some attachment categories that they can upload to. So we've got here the ones that I've set up in the demo system for you is we've got start of visit photo, a photo of the completed works, and I've just included one for a compliance survey. I would imagine most people are going to have these two, and then this third one here will be whatever you want it to be if you choose to have it at all. So those will be set up in the back office, and the subcontractor needs to choose the evidence that they're going to upload to this. So I've got pre-prepared ready for us, a nice before work photograph, a nice after work photograph, and a survey that I carried out. And I can add all those items by clicking the add button, which if you then just spotted a couple of thumbnails appeared down here, our evidence is now shown here. You can continue to add further evidence if you need to, and you can also use the download arrows to download those back to your device if you needed to. You've also spotted that the status of our order has gone to invoice needed. That's because we've recorded all the mandatory evidence that we had to. We've recorded the work that we did, and the only thing that's left is to submit an invoice. And if I scroll down to the bottom of the screen, there is a new section that has been revealed, which is for uploading the invoice. So the subcontractor will then, when they're ready to invoice you for the work, will click on the add invoice button, provide their invoice reference, and then the breakdown of labour and materials that they did on this particular job. So I've got £100 labour, no materials, because all I did was get up and clear some stuff out of a valley. We are catering for the CIS deduction on the labour element, as you can see here. And very importantly, I upload my actual invoice to this job. So I press add, and that's now gone to a status of invoice submitted. So if I scroll down here, we can see the invoice section is now populated. This is now at status invoice submitted. If I go back to our dashboard view, the invoices location, if I search for my word of valley, you can see there's my job reference that I've just done, and it's at the status invoice submitted. So we're waiting on payment for that. Back in our dashboard, in the back office view, we can see now that the ZFB maintenance has disappeared from needs evidence, and it's also no longer featuring here. And that's because they have submitted their invoice. So this now follows the normal purchase invoice process, in that what's happened here is the invoice has landed against the supplier in the unpassed values. So it's an invoice that has not yet been reviewed or passed by anybody in the office. So this now follows the same process you do normally for any of your purchase invoices or any subcontractor invoices you do right now. So if I click into that one, we can see that this was to do with the job that I have literally just done. There's our job reference, and there's our invoice value. Of course, I can step into it all and have a look at what was done, but you would, generally speaking, if you're happy with the invoice and want to have that passed over to accounts so you can pay them, you'd tick past and you'd process that through with all the others. What's next for the portal? Well, we are in the process of rolling this out now as of today, because this is the launch, to pilot this within some organisations. So if you'd be interested in piloting this, please let us know. We'd love to get feedback from people actually using it. And we plan to launch it fully to the world in early 2026. And it'll be available to everybody. And it's going to cost you just £1 per visit that the subcontractors do. So if you maybe don't want to do the pilot, but you'd like to be notified when it's ready for full release, again, please let us know, and we can add you onto our list, and you'll be first to know about it. On to more important matters, we are holding our annual Christmas raffle again this year, but this time with a twist, or with a difference. We're having it in person, so we'd love it if our customers could come and see us for a Christmas social and bit of a get-together in Manchester City Centre. I think it's at Rain Bar, isn't it? around the corner from our office. We're doing that on Wednesday the 26th. Feel free to come down and have a drink with us. I'll keep reminding everybody of that, and I'm sure Ella won't let you get away from that invite either. It'll be coming up all over the place. But yeah, please join us. Once again, of course, thank you everybody for coming on. The next session will be around about the same time next month for a topic to be decided. I've got a couple of ideas in my list that we've had for a while that I might do. But if there's anything that you would like to see or anything that you would like me to put the next webinar on, then let me know sort of in the next couple of weeks and I will do that instead. Hopefully we'll see you in a month's time. And of course, any questions on the subcontractor portal, or if you'd like to have a go using it, piloting it, get in touch. Thanks for coming, everyone.